Josh Smith, politician with the rhythm in his veins, ears full of beats, heart bound by chains. Strolls through Congress, sneakers on his feet, suits and ties, and sing with the street.
Votes on bills, but he's dropping dimes. Punchline sharper, flow tight and rhymes. Gavel in his left, mic in his right. Boardroom to the booth all day tonight. Politician with the groove so fine. Loves good music in a different line. From the ballad to the beat he shifts. Ladies and gents, give it up for Josh Smith.
Smooth moves on both stages, never miss. Policies and rhythm coexist in bliss. Radio plays his speeches and his rhymes. Josh Smith, bridging errors and times.
Don classics in the new age flair. Greats of vinyl, headphones he pairs. Governing cities, playing tunes in his ride. A melody of laws and beats he provides. From the house to the floor, stages he conquers. Rockin' meetings, spitting bars like monsters. Votes and verses, his jewel pride. The dopest politician ever to hide.
Politician with the groove so fine. Politician with the groove so fine. Politician with the groove so fine.
Smooth moves on both stages, never miss. Policies and rhythm coexist in bliss. Radio plays his speeches and his rhymes. Josh Smith, bridging errors and times. Don classics in the new age flair. Crates of vinyl, headphones he pairs. Governing cities, playing tunes in his ride. A melody of laws and beats he provides. From the house to the floor, stages he conquers. Rockin' meetings, spitting bars like monsters. Votes and verses, his jewel pride. The dopest politician ever to hide.
Politician with the groove so fine. Loves good music in a different line. From the ballad to the beat he shifts. Ladies and gents, give it up to Josh Smith. Bridging errors and times. Smooth moves on both stages, never miss. Policies and rhythm coexist in bliss. Radio plays his speeches and his rhymes. Josh Smith, bridging errors and times.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
What I call
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth!
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to socialism.
No. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. This is Saturday night live. It is Saturday night, and it is also live here in the studio with the one and only Joshua Smith. We've got one mic. We're going low tech.
We are sharing a mic. We're gonna go.
You guys are getting it like old school, like back before we figured out how to do all the technological stuff, and also before we forgot how to do all the technological stuff. So we're stripping it down, and we're going one mic between the two of us, and the soundboard is already messed up. But hey, guys, it's Saturday night, and we've got some news to talk about because we haven't talked about much. But it's the holiday season, and I know you're all, hanging out with family and doing family stuff. This guy should be hanging out with his massive, massive family, but instead he's here working on politics?
Politics stuff,
Politics.
yeah. Back, baby.
Back. He's back.
We're back.
And politician-ier than ever. We're going to get into that and a bunch of news here in just a moment. Before we do, I got to remind you guys about my favorite sponsor, which is you guys in the Downers Club. People like Keen Over, Gilda, Kate, John Winshower, Bob Something, Autumn, Carolina, No Tread, Trashman. Go ahead.
Jesco Mitchell, Silas Lane, Dennis. No, Leanne, Osmatic. No, I can't do that.
Not as easy as it looks, is it? SCG, Level Zero, Van Zyte Media, Stephen Hartman, Jack Casey, Javari, Craig DaCosta, Tim Brown, Howie Stone, Nathan, Justin, William, and many, many more. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly someday, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down. We'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly-ish content, but not any of the weeks recently. But, you'll get a backlog, and you'll support the show and all the fun stuff, whatever. I have to say that. Go support the show, please. Patreon.com/The System Is Down. All right. Now, we are here to talk about news and all the things that are going on in the world, and Josh is here in studio, and that is the reason for the technological problems, because I have not had somebody in studio, as you guys know, in quite some time now.
Man's got mics.
I do have mics. I have all the tech. I just didn't feel like figuring out the tech until about 5 minutes ago.
5 or 10, yeah. Probably somewhere around there, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we were busy today. What were we doing today, Josh?
We were recording our first promo ad for my U.S. Senate race, where I will be primarying Joni Ernst in 2026. So,
who? What? Where?
Joni,
Why?
Joni
Mostly.
Ernst, the America Last junior senator from Iowa, who has recently decided that she's all in on the MAGA and Doge movement, despite voting to send billions of dollars all around the world and gamble our children's lives away. So,
now has she been into the MAGA thing for a while? Has she been a MAGA Republican, or is it like now that it's safe and trendy, I'll be a MAGA Republican?
Yeah, I think it was more a safe and trendy. Well, and then what she started coming out against Donald Trump's hand-picked cabinet pretty early. And she got attacked by MAGA pretty fast. And one of the reasons why I was like, hey, perfect time to announce, because I already wanted to run against her. It was kind of one of those things that I was thinking about and talking to the family about. But the $96 billion to Ukraine and Israel had a lot to do with it. And then it just became the perfect time when the MAGA movement was attacking her. And I kind of always knew that I wanted to primary as a Republican because, we can win that way.
I have several questions. First and foremost being, you've run as a politician for other, positions before in the past as a libertarian. Let's start there. You run as a libertarian, right? You would not be a real libertarian if you ran for politics not as a libertarian. So please, for the love of God, tell me that you're running as a libertarian.
I am 100% got my voter registration card yesterday as a Republican. I am running as a Republican.
Nazi fags.
Yep, there it is. I am unfortunately, you cannot primary a Republican as a libertarian. It doesn't work that way. So me primarying a Republican as a Republican in a race that, is quite winnable. Iowans are pretty fed up with Joni Ernst. I think they're getting to a point where they're kind of fed up with the Grassley wing of the Republican Party. MAGA, the MAGA movement put a mandate on that state, and Donald Trump won handedly. And a lot of the libertarians are given, these libertarians that want this small little, party with no weight to pull around whatsoever. They can be mad at me all they want, but the truth of the matter is you got a president for the first time in my entire lifetime going on TV talking about ending the federal income tax. That's huge. We can get Ross out. We can do all these great things. I'm on board. So, I'm absolutely running as a Republican, and, we can beat Joni Ernst. She's not very liked right now. So.
We'll get more into Joni Ernst momentarily, but let's stick on you for a second. So running as a Republican, first time, right?
First time running as a Republican. Not my first time working with the Republican Party. For people who don't remember, I worked on Ron Paul's campaign in 2008, and then again in 2012, I stumped for him during the Occupy movements, which was pretty interesting in California. And then, of course, Ron Paul endorsed me for chairman of the Libertarian Party in 2020. So no, it's not my first time working inside the Libertarian Party, but definitely my first time running as a Republican, for sure.
Would you say that you're more Republican than Libertarian now, or are you still more Libertarian than Republican, just running as with the mask? Are you putting the mask on for the Republicans? 'Cause we're calling you out for everybody.
Yeah, well, and I think that a lot of people are going to be worried about that on both sides of the aisle, but the truth of the matter is I think I'm more of a libertarian nationalist at this point than I was even 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I think that I fit in better probably with the Liberty Republicans, which are, becoming a much bigger thing. We didn't, back when Ron Paul was in office, he was an island, and now I think there's more and more people kind of waking up to, these libertarian ideals, these liberty ideals inside the Republican Party, that we have an opportunity to kind of push the party in that direction. So that's what I hope to accomplish in the state of Iowa with my run at the very least.
Absolutely. And with the advent of, Doge and Kennedy and all these very non-libertarians like Vivek and Tulsi Gabbard and much more liberty-leaning Democrats and Republicans, it seems like there's a space. There's a lot more blurred lines now than there has been in my entire life. And, if anybody holds it against you for running as a Republican, especially now, it's like, you could have made a very good argument as to why run as a Republican at any point in time if you want to win, a campaign. But running now, especially as a Republican that is going more the liberty-leaning side of the Republicans, pushing for that more than the Joni Ernsts. Yeah,
it's the deep state. There is a fully entrenched. And I've talked a lot about it when I was running as a libertarian. There's a fully entrenched deep state aspect, bureaucracy aspect of the Republican Party that I'm seeing their hold on the movement in general slipping away. And I think that's really great. And I think it's a really good time for us to hop out and do this. And, I had Jeff Deist on my show. For you guys who don't know that watch the show, I host a show called Break the Cycle with Josh.
Blood and Soil Jeff? Is that your name?
Yeah, Blood and Soil Jeff Deist, who is, to me, one of the greatest thinkers out there. I had him on my show once, and he told me, I said, a lot of people would say you're not very libertarian because of this view or that view. And Jeff said, who cares? Who gives a shit what people think you are? What is he said, what's the preoccupation with these labels? Who cares about all these labels? He's like, I want the American people to be prosperous and wealthy and healthy, and those are the things I care about. And so why do I care if somebody thinks I'm a libertarian or not? And that was kind of like it shot me in a different trajectory. This was in 2022, 2023. So before that, I was probably pretty liberty still, you know what I mean? Not to the extreme of these loser brigade people in the Libertarian Party, but I was more in the you'll never make a difference here or there in this camp and that camp, and that really kind of took me off that trajectory and helped me kind of realize that, hey, I can work as the liberty-based candidate in any party. It doesn't matter where I go, and it doesn't matter what these losers in the Libertarian Party think about me either. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? What pull do they have nationally? These people think that they can put out like a tweet that you made 6 years ago and that the whole world's going to see it. And the truth is that they get like 22 impressions.
Their friends. Their couple friends see it.
22 impressions on their Twitter. And it's like, nobody cares what these people have to say at all. And so when I stopped putting my focus on like trying to win these weirdos over, and then Jeff telling me it doesn't matter what people call you, it changed my whole trajectory. So now when people are like, oh, finally went back to the Republican Party where you belong, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care at all. It doesn't bother me at all. So.
Yeah, and that's something that I've been pushing too. Like, I don't care what you call me. It doesn't matter what the label is. I'm going to be principled, and you can be principled in whatever you believe, and you can call that whatever you want. You can call mine whatever you want. Fine. You want to call me a Republican? I'll be a Republican. That's fine. Now, with this particular campaign, it's obviously different in that you're running as a Republican, but was there something specific, like why senator, why not like local dog catcher, local or governor, or, local anything? Why this? Is there something in particular about Joni and senator race that made you, really pull the trigger?
Sure. Well, I don't like Joni. That's got a lot to do with it. And, I am fully entrenched in the state of Iowa. I consider myself a proud Iowan, no matter how long I've lived there. It's coming up on, 5 years. No. So when I got back from the presidential campaign this past year, and we didn't get the nomination. We got embarrassed pretty badly in front of a lot of libertarians. And, there was a lot of people out there in the world that couldn't be delegates that were really upset too. But I returned home, and the Libertarian Party of Iowa asked me if I would run against Claire Celsey for State Senate District 16 in Iowa, and I did. And I took 30-something% of the vote as a Libertarian. In fact, I believe I set the record in the state of Iowa for a percentage vote of the vote. But also, I believe I had the highest vote total of any Libertarian candidate this election cycle in the country. In fact, I got
You weren't, though, the first Libertarian candidate to go to the Iowa State Fair and speak on the soapbox something or other.
The Iowa political soapbox, yeah, and a lot of people. It's really funny because people would hold that against me. Well, Chase got to do the political soapbox. I announced my run after the cutoff date for that, by the way. So it wasn't like I tried and didn't get in. It was I didn't have an opportunity to get in because I announced after the cutoff for all that stuff. But anyways,
you did get beat by Chase, though.
But I also in my little Senate district in the state of Iowa got more votes for my state Senate race than Chase got in the entire state of Iowa for president.
And we're back. Now,
Nice.
Joni Ernst, back to her.
Yeah.
Why Joni? Why this particular thing? You keep saying that you hate Joni. Joni sucks. What makes Joni suck so much? I've heard it all day long because we did something today. Did we say we made an ad today?
We made an ad. Well, we shot an ad today. We'll see how long it takes Dan to make an ad, but it definitely.
We'll see how long it takes Josh to pay for the ad for
I'll
me
pay
to make
right now on air, dude. But no, Joni is somebody who parades herself as an America First senator, but is absolutely America Last. She's, for those that you don't know, you can fact check this. Joni Ernst has visited Israel more times than any sitting U.S. senator. Her number one biggest donor is NORPAC for Israel relations. She has never met a spending bill that sends money out of this country that she didn't enjoy. In fact, she just voted to send $96 billion. $96 billion hard-earned tax money from American citizens and Iowans to Ukraine and Israel, and more arms just recently than that too. So that was really the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me was that $96 billion. I was like, you know what, I'm going to run against this lady because Joni, you suck. What the hell, Joni, you suck. and so that had a lot to do with it. She's also not been very great on guns, like the gun situation, and to live in a state that has bills that are in the House right now, I believe, to nullify all federal gun laws, to have a not great on guns U.S. senator from that state seems like kind of a mess to me. So. There's just so much. If you go back and look at her voting record, she votes with the Democrats almost 50% of the time, which is pretty. It says a lot. I mean, you're talking about she's from a state. We sent her from a state that put a mandate on the federal government, saying, that they want the same things that Donald Trump and MAGA wanted, and so we're just going to try to unseat her. I think it's important, and in the state of Iowa, unseating Joni Ernst basically is the general election. We don't send Democrats to D.C. anymore, so if we can get past Joni Ernst, there's a good chance we end up in the U.S. Senate and we start getting to make a difference. So.
I like it, and I'm here for it. Now, what is your plan to unseat Joni Ernst? What is your goal? Your 10-step plan. Step 1, we shot some shit today, and step 2, 3, 4, a little hazy, but at step 10, you steal Joni Ernst's job. What does that look like for you?
Well, I get day 1, I get to go into the U.S. Capitol and call everyone retards and psychopaths, which I'm very excited about. We have a plan to beat Joni too. The goal is to visit all 99 counties in Iowa, which is a huge feat if you're not aware. I know that a lot of Iowa is very rural, but visiting all 99 counties is definitely it's a hard task. So we want to visit all 99 counties. We're already setting up meet and greets with county Republican parties. There's been some excitement, and this is the thing. Like, there's a lot of really famous people out there who've come out and said, "Hey, we need to take out Joni Ernst." like John Rich from Big and Rich, and Steve Deese, of course, and all these people.
Nazi fags.
And so they said if someone was willing to primary, they would go out and help them. And I haven't got a call from those people yet, but I am getting a call from local Republican organizations, people who were on Trump's campaign team in the state of Iowa who are interested in my campaign. So hopefully we can get out there, first of all, and make a big enough name for ourselves. Of course, we're going to have an aggressive media campaign run by The System Is Down, Dan Smotz, and Goulash Media, of course.
Nazi fags.
Because why wouldn't we use the best in the game and make some ads that catch some people's attention? And so that's step one. Step two is visit all the counties. Step three is profit. I mean, we win, we get into D.C. I've told people that I'm willing to put forth bills, every single chance we get that to end all the wars, to bring our troops home, for more aggressive mental health care for these people so they can integrate back into society. Basically, everything that I've said for my presidential campaign is stuff I would still try to get passed at the Capitol. I'd still try to abolish every federal gun regulation I possibly could. I would use my time, my 6 years in the Senate, to really find out and deep dive on how much foreign influence there truly is in the Capitol, and use that to make the American public aware and try to bring forth bills that remove the foreign influence from American politics. I think that's probably one of the biggest problems that we actually face as Americans, because when we keep talking about raising the debt ceiling, that's not because they want to fix your road, bro. It's because they want to send more money around the world, and we really need to fix that. So there's a lot of good things I think I can do from the Senate, and especially because I know that I'll have some people in the Senate that will probably have my back if I get put in there, and I know that there's some people in the House like Massey who feel the same way. And I think the more people that get themselves into these situations and get into the Capitol and start to speak up about these things, the more people that are already there will start speaking up about them. But I've told people I won't take any money from outside foreign influence at all. So AIPAC's probably not going to come calling, but if they do, they're going to get met with an
Nazi fags.
That's kind of where we're at. So, but yeah.
Yes. So the Joshua Smith Disney reboot Republican version. I like it. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see where it goes and help you get it there. But we can't spend too much time on the next election cycle in fucking December of 2024.
Almost 2 years.
So this is the first interview you've done for this campaign, right?
This is the first one. I haven't done any on-air interviews for this campaign. I've done.
Do you know why?
Because
nobody cares yet.
Yeah. But no. I did get a call from Dave, who used to work for Washington Post and works for another big outlet that I'm going to brain fart on right now, and they did a write-up about me and other U.S. senator candidates who are already announcing to run against people who kind of went against the MAGA game plan, I guess, blueprint. And then I also had a local, an Iowa news, the Bleeding Heartland. They're actually a progressive news outlet.
Clearly by the name.
Yeah, they got a hold of me, and she said she wanted an interview. I said sure, I'll do whatever. I'm not afraid to sit down and talk to people who hate me. And she did kind of tried to be like, well, it looks more like a ruse for online engagement. But the truth is that we're raising money and we're going to do the things we need to do to win. So.
Now, hypothetically, if Tim Pool invited you onto his show to debate Jeremy Kauffman, would you take him up on it? Hypothetical.
Yes, but there's not really a lot I'm going to debate Jeremy Kauffman on either, because I don't really want to get made to look that stupid either. You know what I mean? But I'd go on.
Nazi fags.
Yes. Now, fake super chat from Grumpy Gnome says, fake super chat, why Josh is running with 37 kids? Because he figured if he can manage a household that size, he can manage the children and the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. No, it was a conversation with my wife. I think the fact that we were able to do an in-state campaign as opposed to running a national campaign like I've been on since pretty much 2017. That made her decision to be okay with it a little bit easier. But yeah, dude, I've dealt with all the snot-nosed kids, more snot-nosed kids than you can imagine, and
even some outside of the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, and some that aren't even in the Libertarian Party. Yeah, I think I'd have a good handle on dealing with the children in the Capitol for sure.
Dave versus Goliath says, in the house. Have fun, boys.
Oh, yeah. We wish you were.
You're stealing Dave's job for tonight.
I wish you were here, Dave. I miss you, buddy.
We all miss Dave. Now, do you have anything else on this campaign, or shall we move on to some news, Joshua?
No, we don't got to drone on and on about the campaign. It's just getting started. Campaign's just getting started.
I'm sure we'll have you back on at some point in the next 2 years to, re-up on the Joni Ernst squashing. Where can people find information about the campaign before we move on to the news that they're actually here to hear?
The current landing page is Joshua Smith for Senate 2026. Or maybe just Joshua Smith for Senate. We got a couple. We bought a couple.
It's new, folks. It's new.
We bought a couple different Joshua Smith for Senate. Now use the number 4 as
libertarians do,
or the word 4.
It's usually for liberty.
I bought both domains. Couldn't believe they were both open. .com. That'll take you to the landing page. Of course, we got to raise money. We're going up against. Listen, Joni's got $2 million in the bank in her campaign fund. She hasn't even started a campaign yet. And, of course, she's going to get all the support from AIPAC and NORPAC and these Israeli PACs and foreign PACs and defense contractors and all that stuff. So we got an uphill battle when it comes to financial juggernaut status, and we're going to need the grassroots, man. So donate.
Agreed. And a lot of that donation will be going to making the videos really cool and feeding my family. So I agree. Go support Joshua at whatever he just said. Joshua at for something.
JoshuaSmithForSenate.com.
There you go. Now, if you are somebody who works for Joshua and you happen to injure yourself on the job, you might want to hit up Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Have you or a loved one been injured by some fucknuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered. And we are back. Now, let's talk about some news. Josh, you ready for some news? There's some things going on in the world. I hear it's the end of the world. It's the apocalypse every 48 hours, and then it's a different apocalypse the next 48.
Yeah, it's from
Nazis,
drones to aliens to assassination attempts to nuclear winter.
Nazis, always Nazis.
Nazis, lots of Nazis. Yeah, something's always going on, and if that doesn't get us, the climate change will for sure.
We all know that the cow farts will get us any day, if not ourselves. Now, first, we do have some good news, because we always like to bring up the wins whenever we see them. This is from Marjorie Taylor Greene, but this is not from her. This is just the post that I pulled. Marjorie Taylor Greene acknowledged that. Hold on, let me get this in here.
Set up right.
Sure, shut up. She said, "I've been saying for years we should sell/privatize the USPS. American taxpayers should not be subsidizing an organization that is losing billions every single year. Trump is right. Privatizing the post office would be a significant way to cut waste and allow a private company to generate efficiencies the Postmaster General seems incapable of producing." Now, in this, we all know how good the USPS is, and we've been trying to point out the libertarian wins. We all know that the libertarians are going to be mad no matter what good libertarian wins they get, but would you call privatizing another, government entity like the post office that sucks compared to FedEx and US or UPS or any of these others, Amazon in general, would you call that a win, or would you call that a lose because the people who did it don't call themselves libertarian on Twitter?
I don't give a shit who gives us liberty wins, man. I just want them. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. And that's the truth. Like, look, if we get Ross Ulbricht out of prison, that'll be the single greatest achievement that I've seen the LP pull off in my entire lifetime. If we've got a president who goes out there and privatizes the UPS and is actually on TV talking about ending the federal income tax and maybe even giving some nods to, doing some stuff to the Federal Reserve, which is kind of cool. then we are getting wins. And it doesn't matter who it comes from, man. It honestly doesn't. And I mean, if Elon Musk and Vivek get to come together and cut 50% of the federal workforce, and I still hear libertarians bitching about them, I can't take you seriously, man. I really can't do it.
Yeah, I don't care who takes over. It's going to be a privatized company or even a semi-private. Even if you take the USPS and make it 1 fraction of a % privatized, more than it is now, it's a win. It's a win that we weren't getting otherwise. It's a win that we didn't have before. So who gives a shit what you call it or who did it or whatever? I should also mention that we had a long day of shooting, and this is going to be a real scattershot news episode. We've got all sorts of shit. We're going to be jumping around, and just whatever comes up, comes up. Get your fake super chats in if you want to. If you have any thoughts to share. We've got Jack Casey here saying, fake super chat, Dave is actually there. He's just muted. And that's possible. You know, I don't get to play it enough. I guess I should play it while Dave's not here. He's been getting his shit together. He's been unmuting his mic lately, and I'm proud of him. But I do like this song.
Casey got the knowledge, he's the man who knows it all.
So we gotta get it.
Got secrets in his mind, but they bounce around like a ball. He yells the hidden truths, but his mic is always off. So he's sharing all his wisdom to a silent coughing.
I'm also introducing Josh to the wonders/horrors of AI music generation tonight. Josh, you're a fellow former musician, at least. Any thoughts on the downfall of our entire childhood joy?
No, I was just talking about this the other day because I can't sing with shit. And I was like, man, maybe I could just have AI sing songs with my voice, and that'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
I think it'd be great. I'd be like, sweetie, I wrote this song for you, and she'd be like, this is beautiful, and I'd never have to say it was AI.
They have the technology. Like if you upload hours of content, which you have hours of content on your show, Break the Cycle, which we should call out because it'll sometime be back someday.
Soon, actually, very soon. Now that I've been forced to get all of my electronics together in the basement at the new studio, it should be up and running in a couple weeks, hopefully. So
nice. So you've got all those backlog hours of you talking. If you upload your voice that many hours to an AI generator, and you could just tell it what you want the episode to be about, you could just pre-program your podcast, do audio only, or just pre-program like a song that you want to write to your wife, put your voice in there. You could say, I wrote it all, recorded it all, happy anniversary, my love, and good to go.
Based. I'm not scared of AI at all, dude. It doesn't scare me at all.
Weaponize that shit against your spouse.
I want to use it as a weapon. I want to use AI as whoever figures out how to use AI as a weapon first wins. That's it. It's over.
I think we already have, because I'm using it now as a weapon against Dave. Now, let's see. We've got John Winshower says, fake super chat, Josh's competitor, Joni Ernst, takes a lot of funding from the military-industrial complex, RTX Corp, which is formerly Raytheon.
Yeah, I think that's her like third or fourth highest donor is Raytheon. So I mean, that says all you need to know. I mean, if you think my competitor taking money from NORPAC, APAC, and Raytheon means that she's America first, you probably need your head examined.
Jack Casey says, fake super chat, just pretend all my chats above are super chats. Take your pick. I'm not typing all those out again. No, Jack. No. I know what they are. I saw them. I pointed some of them out to Josh. No. Not doing it.
We did pull one up. We did.
Yeah. Stay in your lane, Jack. Fake super chat from Jack Casey. I fucking love you, Dave. I'm proud of you too, Dan. Dan doesn't understand your sacrifice to keep the dog barking muted. Mine does. Dave isn't even here, Jack. Thank you for showing up to the show and fake super chatting to let the guy who didn't show up to the show know that you appreciate him being here. Now, we're going to move on to something else because this is Ketanji Brown Jackson. You remember her, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, she's terrible.
She her first acting gig was when she was asked to define what a woman is on her appointment, and she couldn't do so. Her newest acting gig, have you seen this?
I've watched
Jack, Dave, Josh, whatever the fuck your name is.
We're all the same. We're all the same, buddy.
This is Ketanji Brown Jackson on Broadway. This is our Supreme Court, you guys. Take it or leave it. And this is coming from a theater fag myself, so enjoy.
Female empowerment.
Welcome to the first day of rehearsal.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This has been a dream of mine.
Shut up, silly woman.
I think that it means that anything is possible.
Tonight, we have a very special guest, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson!
I like it too. I think what I like about it is that I am having a very strongly negative reaction to it. Like I hate it. Which makes me think it must be brilliant.
Got this feeling in my body.
Can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my body.
I can't stop the feeling.
Wanna see you move your body.
I did it. I made it to Broadway.
Come on.
That's not a DEI hire. I don't know what is.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. In fact, I thought her acting there was way better than her acting when she said that she could not possibly, as a woman, define a woman because she is not a biologist. I don't really care if she does this, frankly. I think she is more qualified for that than she is for anything else.
That was like a gay version of Romeo and Juliet or something.
It's called And Juliet.
Yeah, it's a gay it's like it's a LGBTQRSTUV.
I have no idea what letters are in it, but it's clearly a female empowerment version of Romeo and Juliet because it's And Juliet and it opened with female empowerment. Yay!
Yeah, it was definitely. There's a reason why they only showed about 8 seconds of her actual acting there because it was not good. It's just not good. That was a DEI hire. DEI hire for sure, no doubt.
Now, Josh, if you met this woman on the street and you saw her performance there and you saw what she's done in the Supreme Court, you saw anything about this woman, would you think that she's more qualified to be a Broadway actor or a Supreme Court justice?
Oh, Broadway actor for sure. Yeah.
So you can't really knock that too hard because she's a Supreme Court justice.
How can you have a woman making the ultimate decisions on legal questions in the United States who can't even define what a woman is?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all. 0 sense. If you can't define what a female is, what a woman is, then you probably shouldn't be making decisions on the Constitution of the United States of America.
Yeah. Now, you're a Republican now, as I've heard. There's a lot of Republicans in the comments feed saying, like, what is a woman? I saw a lot of people saying that this is illegal and she should be disbarred because she did this. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if you have any more information on that or anything, but
I don't think that's illegal. I think they're trying to say that it's probably like some kind of bribe or something. I don't know, but no, I don't think there's anything illegal about her acting on Broadway.
I wouldn't think so. It is weird. It is weird, and some people are also saying like this humanizes her more, and this is cool to see. This is cool to see in some way. It's cool to see like politicians doing stuff that says like that shows a little bit of their humanity. We don't know what Clarence fucking Thomas's like hobbies are or anything. It's weird. I don't know if it's cool, but it's weird to see a Supreme Court justice acting on Broadway. I don't know. Is that weird to you?
No, because it's just an extension of the propaganda arm at this point. I mean, they're not, let's be honest, they're not putting a lot of great Broadway out there that's not trying to pass some political message. It was perfect. It was a perfect opportunity.
Like if Clarence Thomas was like, I'm auditioning for the latest role in Hamilton or something, we'd be like, that's weird, right?
Yeah, it'd be a little strange, I guess.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, any conservative judge for sure. Any judge that's actually honest about the Constitution and makes like deliberate decisions on things based on facts. Sure, it'd be hard to see them on Broadway, but not the ones who can't define what a woman are and totally in line with the progressive agenda and shitting all over the Constitution. No, not at all. That's not weird.
We've got a real super chat here. I'm not sure if you know what that means. Julia Annalise, whoever the fuck that is. She says real super chat. She doesn't know what a real super chat is. Send money if you want a real super chat. Josh will send you my PayPal later. But she says real super chat. Pay, bitch. Joni's future competitor takes a lot of funding from Pampers.
Yeah, that's a funny joke. I would take funny from Pampers. I mean, look, if Pampers wanted to send me a bunch of diapers as like an in-kind donation, that'd be very helpful to us for sure. We do still have 2 in diapers, dude, at the same time. So,
Joshua Smith, fuck Joni Ernst. Sponsored, brought to you in part by Pampers.
yes, I agree. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
All right, so Ketanji Brown Jackson is more of an actor than we ever knew, and God bless her. Keep going. Speak your truth. Live your dream. Slay Queen. Now, Donald Trump, again, scattershot. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. These are just things that over the last week and a half that I haven't done a show, I'm like, we got to talk about that and that and that and that. So Josh is getting roped into it, and he's got the Panther shades on or whatever. Viper?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they are. They're not pit vipers.
Aren't they a white supremacy something or other?
Yes.
Nice. All right. Speaking of white supremacy, Donald Trump had something to say. That's not the button. Here it is. Let's see what Donald Trump had to say. That's how much I'm prepared for this.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying?
Oh. No. This is the drones story, and I guess I do have to do more of a setup to this because the drone story was supposed to be like the main story of the week, but the drone story came within the last week and blew up within the last week and got so big that everybody was freaking out within the last week and debating about it for like 3 whole days, and now it's just gone completely. Josh, you've been paying attention a bit to the drone story.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on there's been a lot of different versions of this, a lot of speculation. What are your thoughts on the drones?
I think that the drones were a missile defense system put out in part by the United States of America because someone was threatening an attack on us, and they didn't want to tell us to cause mass hysteria.
So what's the reason for drones? Like a lot of people said, if they're going out at night, it's because they're looking for... If they're going out at night, it's because they're looking for, like, nukes or something, like they're smelling for something. So that was the running theory that somebody had, like, suitcase nukes or something in the U.S. that came through the border. A lot of this is just people said. But what reason do you have to think that it was a strike of some sort?
It's a complete conspiracy theory on my part. But the fact that the government keeps saying, oh, we don't know what the drones are, and aren't doing anything about them makes me know 100% that they do know what the drones are. And in fact, if you read as little as 2 hours ago, the FBI had come out and said, oh no, everything they're seeing around New Jersey is actually passenger planes. But if you go and look at the local governments and local authorities in New Jersey, they're saying back, absolutely not. Those were absolutely not passenger planes. So you have an FBI that's arguing with local and state authorities and basically telling them that they have no idea what they saw. To me, that's a psyop. I mean, you're trying to convince people that they didn't see what they saw. It's gaslighting. They're gaslighting the American people because they know what it was. Otherwise, they'd tell us. And so I do believe that those drones were some type of missile deterrent or defense or, UAV of some sort was using radars to track missiles or something along those. And they were only on the coast. It only happened on the coast. So
I feel like a couple days ago we got a report or headlines or something. I don't know. This story kind of fell off for me too, but headlines that were like the government has announced that it was them the whole time and they were just doing testing or something, but they can't really say much. I don't know. There was enough of a headline there that everybody stopped talking about it all of a sudden, all at once. Do you think that is true? And do you think that if not, that's some sort of cover? Or I don't know what to make of any of this.
No, I don't believe it was just some kind of training op. No, absolutely not. It went on for days and days and days and days. There's videos of them shooting from those drones too. I don't know if you've seen those videos.
Shooting from or at?
From. And Donald Trump came out and said to shoot at them, which would make perfect sense because, the deep state's not telling Donald Trump much.
Let's hear from Donald Trump. Good segue.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth? They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been getting
intelligence briefing on the drones? I don't want to comment on that, which I don't know. For me, that seems a little suspicious, but
someone said in the chat that there's been many confirmed cases of people getting sick with varied symptoms for about 3 days after encountering one of the drones, going all the way back to October. And I want to say that's interesting because everybody's getting sick right now, like all over the country, just like crazy sick.
It is winter.
I know, but like
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I've been very so like I know that there's a 6th season and we're in the 6th season, but I've never been around and heard so many people being sick at the same exact time. I will say that for sure. Even during like 2020 and 2021 when they were trying to convince us COVID was killing everybody. I don't remember everyone I know being sick at the same time. I'm talking my mom, all my kids, myself, your family, I'm serious. Like everyone I talk to is like, "Oh yeah, we've been sick this week," and I'm like, "Holy shit, dude! That's like a lot of people to be sick all at the same time." And I did notice that. Now, if that has anything to do with these clearly government operated drones, I don't know, but could be.
Yeah, and even with the the headline saying the government announced that it was them the whole time, or whatever, like whatever the official narrative is now, it's like, okay, but they said last week that they had no idea and it wasn't them and it wasn't this or that. Like, the story doesn't add up on scan. It doesn't really matter what is, I mean, it kind of matters what is true and what isn't. Of course it does. But what really matters is that no matter what, their story's not adding up, which means they're lying again. And Donald Trump agrees with you that it doesn't, whatever it is, I find it hard to believe that they don't know exactly what it is, and they're keeping it from us. So at the very least, you're being lied to. You're being swindled.
What's new? Of course we're being lied to. I promise that if you put me in the U.S. Senate, I will tell you all about what was going on with the drones.
Nazi fags.
Every time you bring it back to it now, keep going. Keep going. I want to see how many times you can tie it back into an ad for your campaign.
That's all I needed. That was a good one.
No, please do. Keep tying it back in. I want it. No one at all says, fake super chat, the radiation counts are way up in locations corresponding to the drones.
I don't know. I haven't been out with my Geiger counter, so I couldn't tell you.
Utica, New York is 3,000% higher than normal with 2 level 1 trauma centers at capacity.
That's a lot of radiation if it's 3,000 times the normal. I mean, that's a lot. If that's true, I haven't fact checked that, but if that's true, that's a lot. That's a huge amount of radiation for sure.
It's a bit. Jack Casey, dare I, says, fake super chat, UFO only fans making people sick visiting over 100 guys in 24 hours. Thank you, Jack. We're going to move on now. Thank you all for your comments.
I don't want to talk about that whore. Get that whore out of here. She's horrible.
That's more of an after-party conversation. I could rant about that whore for a while. But we'll wait. And, did you watch the documentary? The OnlyFans documentary on her?
Dude, I don't give a shit. I don't pay attention. Look, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm as anti-porn as they come. I got all I need. Let's just put that.
Well, what's funny about this documentary is it's on YouTube, and they like nothing is shown or seen, and they edited out words like sex from the documentary. Like it's very heavily edited for just like verbal content. It's like you realize you're making a documentary about
a woman sleeping with 100 guys or some shit.
Yes. Wow. And if somebody's clicking on that, you probably don't have to edit out the word sex, but I don't know. Whatever.
Back in my day, we had a word for a woman like that, and it was whore. That's a whore.
We still do, and it still applies.
Could you imagine that in the 90s, like a body count of 100 in one day in the 90s? That would have been like insane for anyone. Now people are talking about it on Twitter like it's a cool thing. Like, what's wrong with you?
It's not.
No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You've lost a piece of your soul that day. There's no doubt. For good. Never come back.
Back to drones. No. Enough of the horse. I did want to play this because this was supposedly heard on the New Jersey radio airwaves. And my favorite movie is Signs, so you make the connection however you want. sounds almost identical to the baby monitors in Signs.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, spirit box or something?
Bluetooth spirit box tapped into his radio on his car. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything to that or not. There's no way of telling if they could have just put their own audio. They could have gone on Envato Elements and downloaded creepy sound wave signal and put it over that. I don't know, but worth a share. Also worth a share. This has to do with, we talked about, this is probably the theory of this is probably just drills or something. Because there was a lot of people saying that, including, but not limited to, Dave Smith. What's to make you think this isn't just drills that are running with drones? Yes, drills could be the case, but there were just drills that ran before 9/11, and there were just drills that ran before Sandy Hook, and there was always just drills, so that doesn't really ease my mind.
You can't say Sandy Hook on a show anymore. It's against the law. You can get fined $1 billion for that.
Shit. Disregard. I take it all back. Now, this happened. Let me know if you think this has to do with, any sort of psyoping or any sort of psychological warfare or predictive programming. This is from Palantir aired this commercial. Distant Media posted this. Palantir aired this commercial during the Army-Navy game, which was just last week, or earlier this week, I guess, which showed a swarm of drones being released from a ship offshore. Say what did that say? It's very small. I can't even fucking read that. Something about that. Yeah, and yeah. Bunch of drones.
Palantir's like a data collection agency, isn't it?
I have no idea. Find out. Jamie, look that shit up. Just a fun little ad during the Army-Navy game that shows a swarm of drones launching off of a military ship and being conducted.
So they power real-time AI-driven decision-making in the most critical commercial and government contexts around the world, from public health to battery production. Organizations depend on Palantir to safely, securely, and effectively leverage AI in their enterprise and drive operational results. But there's controversy. The protesters accuse Palantir of being complicit in war crimes during the 2023 Israel-Hamas war because it provides the Israel Defense Force with intelligence and surveillance services, including a form of predictive policing. Oh, dot crimes.
Yes. Minority Report.
Oh, they got some crazy competitors, too. That's nuts. That's I should probably know more about them. Vanguard.
We all should.
Oh, Vanguard owns them.
Shocking. Shocking.
There, that's it.
Shocking. One more.
Nazi fags.
All right, that's probably enough of that sound effect for today. Let's move on to other news. Drones. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Let us know your thoughts at dan@tsidpod.com. Is the what?
I think you got that.
Yeah. Email me your hate thoughts or whatever you think. Now, there was a, Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas is coming up next week. There was as we do these days, a massacre in the Christmas sense in Germany today or yesterday? Which one?
Yesterday. It wasn't today. It was
yesterday. I found out about it today. Here's that.
Yikes.
Yep, just plowing through a whole festival there. This, of course, harkens back to, was it 2 years ago, the Waukesha massacre, the definitely not black dude who definitely drove through all the grandmas in Wisconsin.
That was just that was an unmanned vehicle.
Oh, that was the car. The car. Yeah. Yes, my bad.
I'll say this actually, I saw this exact scene happen once at a bar that I used to frequent, if you can believe that. The bar was getting let out at 2 o'clock. There had been a big fight. Guy went and got in a Dodge Challenger and came back and drove through the crowd of people going out of the bar. Missed me by like 5 inches. seriously. Spun another guy around in the air, broke his leg, and then smashed another guy into a statue, like between the car and the statue. Didn't make it. I watched it happen. It was crazy. It's, we need common sense car control.
Yes, we need to get this shit under control. We need to, yes, common sense, just the obvious things that we should do to reduce car violence amongst
Saves one life,
Well, somebody think of the children. Now, with this, he just drove straight through, and this says the reports are saying killed 11 people, injuring 60. Okay, I feel like that number, the 60, was less this morning, but even killing 11 people seems like a low number if you watch this video. Like, whoever it is plows straight through just a crowd, just a full-ass crowd of people straight through. Like something that would take real fast. Yeah. Like, did not slow down like the Waukesha dude did to reconsider. He just went for it and gunned it. I don't know that much about this yet, but it seems like even killing 11 people seems like a low number in that raid there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that only 11 people died. How fast and how many people there were. So it's actually probably, very lucky that it was only 11 people, but still very bad. And it's clear that getting rid of guns is not the solution.
Get rid of cars.
There's violence even without. Yeah, must deport all cars, as Jack Casey has said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Deport all cars. It's obviously the only answer. Take away anything that might be used against people and might be used to harm somebody. I don't know. My computers have, not mine, but computers have been used to harm people. Alcohol has been used to harm people. I'm sure somebody's at one point been bludgeoned with a microphone. We need to take away all those things. And
saves one life. We just have to be happy in our micropod, eating the bugs.
Mm-hmm. And thinking of the children.
Thinking of the children, correct.
Yes. Now, so that happened. Keep an eye on that. I'm sure it'll disappear because I don't know. I honestly don't know what the ethnicity of the guy who ran down that line of people was, but the fact that they're blaming the car makes me think it wasn't a white dude.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not a white dude. And in fact, I think the speculation is that it's a Muslim guy, which is kind of weird. I'm gonna be honest with you. For as much as I
don't even trust Muslim violence anymore. I don't trust any of this.
As much as the Muslims hate the Jews, why do they always attack the Christians in the Christian nations? I don't understand why that happens. Doesn't make any sense to me.
They hate us for our freedom. No. That's why you joined the military, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, George Bush. He got me with that one, dude, for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Now, speaking of hating people for their freedom, let's talk about Nick Fuentes, which is what you all thought we were going to talk about for the last hour, and we didn't. But we're going to now, because Nick Fuentes was doxxed recently. We've talked about that on the show, and then somebody showed up with pepper spray, and actually, me and Dave Casey have had a little bit of back and forth over our thoughts on the pepper spray incident. Josh, I'm curious of your thoughts on the initial incident with Nick Fuentes. I'm sure you've seen it, where somebody shows up after he was doxxed, and he just opens the door to immediately pepper spray them, and then the phone falls inside, and then he gets, like, I don't know, some charges against him, and then that gets thrown away or whatever. Before this latest incident, what'd you think about Nick Fuentes in general and that incident?
Well, I'll say this. I don't carry pepper spray. Someone who, so I don't know if people know the backstory on the woman who showed up at his house, but she had sent several death threats to Nick Fuentes as well.
Her personally?
Huh? Yeah, her personally. That person. And so I'll just tell you, like, I don't carry pepper spray. If somebody makes a bunch of death threats to me or my family or to harm me, and then I see them at my front door, I'm not opening the door with pepper spray. I mean, I'm shooting through the door. That's And now after this,
you're at the very least not opening the door.
Yeah, I'm definitely not opening the door. Period. But I will say, after what just happened to Nick with this assassination, very clear assassination attempt, there's going to be a lot of influence out there that are going to be really on edge. And I would suggest not showing up at influencers' houses for at least a year or so, because
or at all ever.
Yeah, the truth is at all ever. But I would seriously suggest that if you're thinking about doxing an influencer and showing up at their home, it's going to be a lot of people on edge right now. And a lot of us carry guns. I mean, I carry a gun everywhere I go all the time. It's always with me, and I have a family to protect. So, if you showed up at my house after, threatening to kill me, and I see you on my camera and you have anything in your hands, it's a good chance I'm shooting through the door. I live in the middle of the country, dude. No one lives across the street from me. You know what I mean?
So in this latest situation, it seems like you actually are more up to date than I am. What happened with the Nick Fuentes thing? I know that somebody killed some people, killed some dogs, showed up at Nick's house, got him on Ring doorbell. They had a gun, died. That's like the extent of my knowledge.
So this guy was actually already a killer, which is pretty nuts. He had killed a family of 3 already before showing up to Nick Fuentes' house. Shows up to Nick Fuentes' house, obviously with the motorcycle helmet, a crossbow, and what looks like a tricked out SIG to me, 9mm. And he calls Nick out on the camera. You can hear him say, "Hey, Nick, come outside." I think we'll hear this here in a second. I can't remember if it's this video or the other one.
I don't even think I've seen this yet.
But you got to remember, in this video, he's already shot and killed 3 people in their home.
But Nick does know that.
No, he doesn't know that. That must be the other video that
the one. Let's try this one.
So.
And for the audio listener, this is a man in a helmet with a backpack on, clearly holding a pistol in his right hand.
And sat a crossbow down, too, which I thought was weird. Like, you have a gun.
Where's the crossbow?
It's on the ledge. He sat it down right on the ledge there.
Oh, yeah. There it is. I mean, it's clearly, whether it's crossbow or not, it's clearly, oh, yeah, it's a crossbow. It's clearly something with a trigger that's pistol-shaped, or rifle-shaped. Yo, Nick.
Yo, Nick.
So he's getting impatient for the person that he's about to kill.
Well, so there's more. So I don't know if they've confirmed the identity of this man yet. I haven't read about it today, but I was reading about it yesterday. Shows up after killing a family of 3, shooting them dead in their own home. Shows up to Nick's house. Nick calls the cops. He takes off and breaks into a neighbor's of Nick's house, kills both their dogs, gets in a shootout with the police, and gets killed. So this is what happened.
The police showed up and they were mad because they're like, "You already shot the dogs? You did our job for us." So they took it. They didn't shoot him because he killed the people or tried to kill Nick. They shot him because he killed the dogs and did their job for him.
Yeah, I just I'm telling you, I would not. This is a weird time, dude. And if you're doxing influencers because of what they say online, like, first of all,
you should be sued.
Yeah, first of all, you're a pussy. You deserve to be sued, and maybe worse. And if you show up at somebody's house like that, man, whoever this guy is probably pretty lucky that Nick lived in Illinois, and probably doesn't keep a AR-15 at the front door. But a lot of us do, and I'd be very skeptical of who you decide's house is a good idea to show up to. That's all I'm saying. And Nick's gonna sue. I saw him today looking for lawyers he's gonna aggressively go after the people who have doxed him, and rightfully so. This is an attempt on his life. Whether I agree with Nick Fuentes on things or not, I don't think anybody should have someone show up at their house to assassinate them because of things they've said. I mean, Nick holds no power in government. He hasn't come to your house and beat up your family. He says things that you don't like on the internet, and influences a bunch of other dorks who say things that you may not like. And if you have such a problem with that you would kill somebody over it, you deserve to be removed from society, to be honest, first of all. But you also deserve to be sued if you actually try to get that person harmed. So I hope he gets gives these people what's coming to him, for sure, no doubt.
So where do you think this goes? I mean, we all knew that this was eventually coming, and I'm surprised it took this long for Nick Fuentes to have an attempt on his life. Just based on the culture that we're living in now and how amped up, not even necessarily now, but more so the way things have been over the last 6 to 8 years of everybody's a Nazi, everybody's evil, and now we build up to Donald Trump's the winner again. And even though Nick Fuentes did not support Donald Trump in this election cycle, he said one thing about women's rights that I think was a tongue-in-cheek joke, and then the doxing, and then the I feel like the first time that somebody showed up with the when he pepper sprayed him, I was like, just don't answer the door, call the cops, or if you're gonna do something for real. Don't, or I don't know, ask questions. I felt like the first incident was like, bro, calm the fuck down, maybe ask a question, or get somebody else in there to deal with it. But pepper spraying somebody right out the bat, I thought that's not a good way to handle. But now we're less than a week later to the point of somebody showing up with a crossbow as though they're in The Walking Dead and a pistol in a spaceman helmet ready to shoot their fourth victim, which is Nick Fuentes. Do we have any idea who the first 2-3 people that were shot? Was there any motive behind those, or was it just like, I'm going killing tonight, and Nick Fuentes is going to be the final boss, but I'm not going to make it through this, so let's take out a couple on the way.
Let's see. He was wanted in a triple homicide. Cops in West Suburban Berwyn shot and killed a man wanted for a triple homicide in Central Illinois after a Wednesday night foot chase. According to authorities, a pursuit that started on the block where far-right, of course. Did I lose the whole thing? They want me to pay? Oh, yeah, they want me to pay for that shit. Why? Get out of here, paywall. I'll find a different one. Anyways, gunman also armed with a crossbow paid him a visit after alleging killing 3 people earlier that night. I'm trying to find... I did read the names of the people that were killed before. Let's see. In another one that I read, but I can't remember the names right now, unfortunately.
Josh Smith, politician with the rhythm in his veins, ears full of beats, heart bound back chains, strolls through Congress, sneakers on his feet, suits and ties, and sing with the street.
Shot it off. The suspect is identified as 24-year-old John Lyons, who was wanted for a triple homicide in Mahomet, Illinois earlier that day. Report added that the incident has been turned over to the Illinois State Police Public Integrity Task Force and considered an active ongoing investigation. I can't.
So we don't know why he killed 3 people before, but he did,
John,
or allegedly he did.
I don't.
It wasn't like he stopped by Matt Walsh's house and killed him, and then he stopped by Elijah Schaefer's house and killed him.
He's like a 24-year-old guy. Let's see if we can find him. I wonder if he's got a Facebook or a profile on here. Anyways,
probably not anymore.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, pretty crazy that's what's going on here. Let's see here. Anyways, I'm not going to keep digging into it.
So Nick Fuentes had an assassination attempt. Now, the other question I have for you, Josh, is should this be called an assassination attempt, or is that only something that is you have to be a politician to be qualified for that? And does Nick Fuentes qualify, or do you qualify more as a politician?
I think public figures in general qualify as an assassination attempt. I mean, they called it an assassination when John Lennon was killed, right? So I mean, it's and maybe he's not as famous as John Lennon, of course, but yeah, dude, it's.
I hear he's into Asian chicks, so he might get Yoko Ono'd.
I don't know about.
Probably more like Asian dudes. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's still pretty early in that case to comment too much on it, but weird things are going down, and hopefully it doesn't escalate any further. Josh, you lived through the Summer of Love. We've all been alive for all the different back and forths of the political spectrum and conflicts over the last 12 years, especially. Do you think that this continues to escalate? We've got Nick Fuentes. Sure, he got a hit on, on him and all that, but it's Nick Fuentes. Is this just a one-off weird thing? It was Donald Trump. He's an extremist. Nick Fuentes, obviously an extremist. They got hits on him, but do you think that this is something that's going to escalate and get worse as Donald Trump comes into office?
Yeah, no doubt. I said that. I said that before the presidential election was decided. I said, I don't think there was any way out of the political violence. I think either winner was going to create a lot of political violence. Unfortunately, I think that the right's political violence is a lot different than the left's political violence. The left wants everybody who disagrees with them dead immediately. I've said that a lot, and if you don't believe that, that's fine. I don't care. I don't think the right's the same way. I think the right, rightfully so, directs their hate and rage more at the government than they do at like normal everyday people. Than the left. The left wants to go out and murder business owners and landlords and all these people who have
big picture right-leaning people who are like, someday we'll vote just hard enough that we'll get something to happen, and we're mad at them. And then the left is like, we're going to kill a Starbucks employee because Donald Trump won.
Yeah, exactly. And so I knew that there would be political violence no matter what. I hope that people would stop doing that and kind of give it a go and see what happens. No matter what happens, they're not going to change who the federal government is right now. They're just going to have to deal with it. So, like, killing people that you don't like is not going to change things for you, and you're just going to end up in prison, or dead.
Yeah. And, we saw the Luigi Mangione situation where not only is there more political violence, but there's praised political violence from the left, where he is a celebrity icon at this point for murdering a CEO of a healthcare industry. You got any thoughts on that? We talked about it last week, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. Look, I'm not a big fan of the pharmaceutical industry and healthcare industry, and I think that healthcare insurance in the United States is a scam. But look, direct your anger where it belongs. The federal government has created the healthcare insurance scam that you deal with today. It's not some random person was like, you know what, we're going to make insurance for you, and the government was like, oh, you can't do that. No, the government was like, yeah, do that, and we're going to subsidize it, and we're going to continue to drive the cost of insurance higher and higher, and the cost of medical higher and higher. So I get being upset with the insurance company. I get, especially United, who I think denies a lot of people unjustly.
Sure. It's the premise of Saw 6, which the Saw movies, they dip. They go up and down, but Saw 6, it's good. And this is the premise. For those of you who love Luigi Mangione, watch Saw 6. It'll give you a boner.
Well, anyways, fuck Luigi too. Making him like a hero is bullshit. This guy shot a father and a son and a husband in the back while he was walking down the street. You're a fucking coward. You're not. People are trying to compare this guy to, like, I don't know, Jesus I saw the other day, and Trump and all kinds of shit. And I'm just like, dude, no, he's a coward. He's a coward that shot somebody in the back because his back hurt and he got denied health care.
And the CEO is going to be replaced. I hate to break it to you, but you didn't fix it.
It's already replaced. There's already somebody that they've picked, I'm sure, whether it's public or not. There's already someone that they've picked that's like, yeah, okay. But also, there could be a chance that this guy's a patsy. There's a good chance that there was, this. I know that they were being tasked with. There was some kind of court case, and now it's slipping my mind. But there was a court case where I believe he was supposed to testify coming up, and so
I think it's possible he's a patsy. I think it's more likely that he's not, just based on how into it he seems to be. Like, he seemed, when they were dragging him into court, he seemed smug about it, and he seemed like he was ranting about stuff that is in line with the manifesto. And I'm the first person to be like, yeah, it's bullshit.
Right.
But I don't know on this one.
I haven't read the manifesto, so I
you should watch the show. You'd hear it.
I didn't even take the time to read this guy's manifesto. Fuck that guy.
We can move on then. Yeah. All right, let's. We're gonna end on this one because this is a story that I've been wanting to talk about, but we haven't had time to work it in. And Josh, I don't think you're even familiar with this one, so you'll be finding this out in real time. This is CNN. CNN reporter, what's her fucking name? I don't know. But they found this guy in Syria in like a holding cell that he supposedly had been in for 4 to 6 months or something. I suppose I could read it.
Freed him.
No, these are calling him out, so it's not going to give the actual story. But we'll watch this. They find this guy who supposedly in Syria was held captive. And they stumbled across him while they were looking for journalists or something. And this is CNN. Immediately after this video came out, everybody was like, this is bullshit, obvious bullshit. Turns out it is bullshit, but spoiler alert, we're going to watch it together. Josh, tell me if anything seems weird to you about this. This is them stumbling across a guy who's been in prison for like 6 months, and he has not seen the light of day in 6 months, and he has not had food or water in 4 days. Tell me if that checks out here.
I was about to say, are we just having my reaction here? Because we can do that.
Clear if there is something under the blanket.
Oh, it moved. Is there someone there?
Is there someone there? So was this a fairy tale, a Disney movie?
Is someone there?
Is someone there?
Or is it just a blanket? I don't know.
Hello?
Okay, it's just
I'm a civilian, he says. I'm a civilian. He tells the fighter he's from the city of Humps and has been in the cell for 3 months.
Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
That's not a guy who hasn't been fed or drank any water for months, that's for sure.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, his cheeks would be sunken. His beard is nicely manicured. His hair is very short still. His skin looks like it has good color to it.
He also really jumps up there pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean,
like when they move the cover, he's like,
know.
"Oh, hey, guys."
I don't know if any of you guys have ever actually been dehydrated. I have been severely dehydrated before, and if you stood up and jumped up like that, your blood pressure would make you pass out. That's pretty much how it works.
So he jumps up, and then
Does anyone have any water?
the first thing people noted was that they're going into the Syrian camp, prison, whatever, and they're like, hello? 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 In English?
I think they were saying halal. They were looking for something to eat, I believe.
Any food trucks around? But yeah, this guy's seemingly perfectly fine when he jumps up and goes take the drink of water, and then they like escort him out, and he can barely walk. Got another clip here. They walk him out into the sunlight.
It's right at the sun.
Uh-huh.
In a windowless cell, you can finally see the sky.
He looks straight up at the sun. So thankful.
My God, the light, he says. Oh God, there is light. My God, there is light.
Uh-huh. Oh, and all of a sudden he can barely walk. Like he gets more crippled as the day goes on.
This isn't The Onion. This isn't satire.
Stay with me. Stay with me. He repeats again and again. For 3 months, I didn't know anything about my family. I didn't hear anything about my children. The fighter
Now he's shaking to lift a fork to his mouth.
Okay. But his body can't handle it.
Okay, you're okay.
His captors fled during the fall of Damascus.
He's puking because he's so weak.
Leaving him with no food or water. That was at least 4 days ago. I'm shaking. My face is shaking, he says. The rebel tells him there's no more army, no more prisons, no more checkpoints. Are you serious, he says? Surya Harra. Syria is free, he tells him. It's the first time he has heard those words.
So my first thought on this, my first speculation or skepticism, it wasn't even to do with anything in the video. It was the idea that CNN was like breaking news on the scene. They're in the camps and they found the guy. I'm like, no. Do you remember the last time CNN has broken any story, let alone on like an on-site war-torn country story?
No, I can't. And they've been busted before for using like green screens and fake sets and stuff like that. I don't know if you're aware of that too. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, well, it turns out that not only was it not real, which I have some thoughts on that. So let's just, before we get to that, assuming that it's not real, which we all did immediately, assuming that it's not real, that means CNN, major news broadcasting company, staged a situation like they went to some sort of war-torn country, who knows where, and they went into some sort of war-torn prison, and they laid a guy down, put a blanket over him, and then said, here, act this. Like, if everybody is in on this, then watching that again is fucking
crazy.
Absurd.
Yeah.
That they're like, okay, now pretend like you haven't eaten in the last 3 months and you haven't seen the light of day, and he's like, look at the sun and I'm so hungry. Like, I don't know.
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar, looking right at the sun. Hasn't seen the sun in months.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
That works. That's how that works.
Yep.
I think Trump looking directly at the sun at the solar eclipse was pretty crazy.
Made a lot more sense.
Yeah, it made more sense though, for sure.
It was a lot more believable than that. But not only was it all completely fake and staged, and they were all in on it, believe it or not, but the prisoner, this is according to the New York Post, it's legit. Prisoner CNN helped free from Syrian prison was actually a notorious Assad regime torturer, according to reports. The prisoner CNN helped free from a secret facility in Syria was actually a notorious member of Bashar al-Assad's forces, known to torture those who refused to pay him off, according to a shocking local fact check. So we found the guy. Not only was he not a guy who was a prisoner under Assad's regime and came out just finally realizing that Assad is gone, he fled to Russia or whatever the fuck, and not only that, but he was a torturer. He was a terrorist under Assad's regime who they're like, you're brown enough, get under that blanket and say these things just convincingly enough, shake a little bit, we'll give you $500 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's not really that crazy. If you think about it, it's CNN, okay? It's really not that crazy. I mean, I wouldn't put any of this past CNN. These are people who probably one of the biggest perpetrators of the COVID regime are trying to, obviously, very clearly and obviously make people support the wars in the Middle East that are raging on right now. And they've, they did this during Iraq. They did this during Afghanistan. They always pushed a narrative that made us seem like we had to be over there at war. And so it's not surprising to me. It's not surprising at all.
It's not surprising to me that they do it. It's surprising to me only that they're just so lazy. Like, they thought, like, this is such a sensational story. It's sensational for any media outlet to have this kind of story in this day and age. Like, this is more like your Luke Radowski's or anybody, like, more of a podcaster just happened to be on the scene would be more likely to get it than CNN sent out anybody to capture anything that wasn't, like, here at home. The fact that CNN sent anybody out to Syria to do whatever this story was that they made up.
That they definitely made up.
Yes, that was unbelievable on its face in this day and age. And like, this feels so, like, it feels like old school journalism where they would do stuff like this. I feel like we haven't seen this in a long time. And it feels like they're trying to harken back to that and be like, see, journalists matter. And their best effort is, see, journalists matter. They can fake some propaganda bullshit and free a terrorist into the wild.
Don't forget having a girl boss do it, too. You can't do it without a girl boss.
Well, of course.
Yeah, it's
naturally.
gotta be a girl boss.
You have to. Speaking of girl bosses, I do want to get in one more thing. Josh, you're big into the crypto sphere, right?
I'm a Bitcoin maximalist these days. But
okay. Okay. So you definitely bought into the latest crypto trend, the Tuah coin, right?
No, I stopped losing my ass on shit coins a long time ago. But I will say, if you were dumb enough to buy Tuah coin, you deserve whatever you get. I've lost my ass on lots and lots and lots of shit coins in my years. Stop investing in shit coins. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah. So Tuah chick Haley Welch, is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Welch, something like that. released this coin. We've talked about it on the show in the past, but released this coin, and then the rug got pulled out. Whatever, people did nefarious, shady shit, and then I don't really care about any of that stuff. I don't really care about what she did or didn't do. I care about like with the coin. I care about. Did you see the Twitter Spaces where she's trying to explain herself and they're like calling her out on it? Like the last time we saw her, she said, "I'm gonna go to bed now, guys. All right, bye bye." And then she never came back, and it was like there were people online.
Make a post yesterday.
Yeah. That's why I'm bringing it up. She is alive. There were a lot of people, including myself, that were speculating whether or not she would ever come back, whether or not she was even alive at this point. But she is alive. She came back, and she's like, "I'm gonna try and make this right." And
it was a lawyer made that post. There's no doubt about it. It was a very lawyery post. But I will say this: look, dude. If you invested in a cryptocurrency that was named after a woman who got famous for talking about spitting on dicks, I have to just tell you, you're not very smart in the investing world, and you really shouldn't blame the lady who talked about spitting on dicks. Honestly,
if you took financial advice from a woman who drunkenly had a camera shoved in her face and said something funny about blowjobs and gained a career because of that, if you took financial advice from that person in any way, shape, or form, yes, she did go from nothing to probably millionaire at this point, or at least $100,000 heir at this point. But if you took any financial advice from that person for any reason whatsoever, you deserve whatever you got. Now, let's see. December 21st, is it not here anymore? I'm not seeing the post anymore.
It was just there yesterday.
December 4th, December 20th. Oh,
right
there it is. All right. So, Haley Welch says... We'll get it. We'll get it. I take this situation extremely seriously and want to address my fans, the investors who have been affected, and the broader community. I am fully cooperating with and am committed to assisting the legal team representing the individuals impacted, as well as to help uncover the truth, hold the responsible parties accountable, and resolve this matter. If you have experienced losses related to this, please contact Berwick Law using the link below or right here next to it.
Heard first thing, a lawyer wrote this tweet. Yeah, yes. There's no doubt at all.
That's absolutely right. There's no way that she wrote that. Frankly, I find it hard to believe. I saw that. I saw her rise to literal nothing fame. And then suddenly it was like, she needs a podcast, she needs a documentary, she needs this, she needs that, and then she needs crypto coin named after her. And I'm like, all right, pump the brakes, y'all. This is going to be a Britney Spears 2.0. But she went, like, she started sharing stuff like free Ross shit. And I'm like, okay, maybe she's got like some depth there that we don't understand. But she started the free Ross stuff, and then she started the Haley Welch coin or whatever the fuck it is, and then all this happened, and now her lawyer is the first sign of life that we see. I guess we still don't know if she's alive or not, because a lawyer just had access to her Twitter account to post this. But do you think that Haley Welch is still alive? Do you think that she's still kicking? Do you think that she's going to keep going in the financial game or fade into an oblivion like so many before her, Josh?
Well, she definitely doesn't have any fans anymore, I can tell you that much. She said she wanted to address her fans, and I laughed. I said, you just lost people's life savings with your spit on dicks coin. You know what I mean?
Did she or did they?
Well, they did, for sure. But that's not how they're going to look at it.
But they were her most hardcore fans.
Yeah, and that's not how they're going to look at it. I mean, people are fucking pretty stupid. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that most people are like going to find a way to try and blame Tuah girl, the spit on that thing girl, for their financial losses. There's no doubt that's going to happen. And America will placate them in some way. There's no doubt. Because that's what we do to dumb people. We tell them,
bail them out.
Everything's going to be okay. You were just wronged. That's how it works.
You weren't wronged. You were wrong. You were stupid. You made a stupid decision, and you deserve everything that you got for it. I'm sorry if you got... Honestly, I find a lot of the stories online to be true. I find it hard to believe. There's like somebody who keeps posting, I refinanced my home or something. Like I put redid my mortgage or something. $300,000 I lost on Tuah coin. It's like, you are entirely responsible for that and nobody else.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard in 2024, and there's been a lot of dumb shit go on this year. A lot. If you leveraged your house,
record-breaking amounts of stupidity this year.
If you leveraged your house to go all in on a spit on that dick coin, okay, you probably are not in the best position to be making any kind of financial decisions for yourself. You should have a Britney Spears dad put a conservatorship over you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Now,
I just lost all the Tuah fans for my campaign in Iowa, so now I don't know what
we all knew that they were very intelligent, well-invested, enthusiastic supporters that she had. JC says, Dan's Tuah accent is just his Joe Exotic accent. I mean, it fits.
That's okay.
It fits. Gay Southerner or white bitch Southerner, either way, it's fine. Jack Casey says, fake super chat. Dan's voices are my favorite. Now do Chase Oliver again.
You got a Chase Oliver?
I do. I do have a Chase Oliver. I have a Chase Oliver till the end of days.
That's actually really
I am anti-war to the core.
To the core.
To the core. Fuck you, Joshua Smith.
Hell yes, he is. Hell yes, he's a Nazi.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here for The System is Down. Josh, do you have any final thoughts on anything that we've gone over? Like, the world is ending. It's the apocalypse. It's the Civil War. It's World War III. It's the Antichrist. It's all the things. Nazis are re-emerging, and Tuah is,
Well, I'll tell you this. Andrew Tate came out today and said that
that was on the list of things we're supposed to talk about too.
He said it was very gay if you get a good night's sleep with all that's going on in the world, and it's like the first thing of Andrew Tate that I've ever agreed with. If you're sleeping snug in 2024, dude, you're not doing enough. You're being a little gay for sure.
Now, this was on the agenda to bring up, so I guess we have to talk about it. Andrew Tate has been on a bender. I mean, maybe it's his newfound freedom that he's got with, I don't know. I feel like his entire case is an entire psyop, and worth ignoring. But okay. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. But it's gay to sleep. That I feel like I've read a lot of articles lately that are like it's racist to sleep. Dave is not your name. Josh, is it racist to sleep more than it is gay to sleep?
Well, now I want to go sleep well if it's racist. So I'm
win-win.
I am now conflicted because I don't want to be gay, but I also want to be racist. So I don't know. I don't know what to do now. Now I'm definitely not going to be able to sleep now because I'm going to be up all night thinking about this wild conundrum.
Is it gay to be attracted to attractive women? Because that was also something that Andrew Tate says gay.
That is not gay. In fact, it's more gay to be attracted to men when you're a man, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Chase Oliver.
I'm not a biologist, so it's hard to say.
Bro. Sing us out, Chase.
Thank you, Joshua Smith, for being here. Josh, where can people find you and your latest in libertarian politics / Republican politics?
Liberty Republican. You can find me at joshuasmithforsenate.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Joshua@large. And, of course, go follow the YouTube channel. We'll be back soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And that's Break the Cycle with Joshua Smith.
And you can find me at thesystemisdown.tv or wherever the System is Downs are sold, at TSIDpod on Twitter. Dan at tsidpod.com is the email if you got any fun thoughts to share. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for checking in on Joshua Smith's first and most official, most professional, important interview here with one microphone. Be on the lookout for Joshua Smith ads and Joshua Smith campaigns and all things Joshua Smith. We'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, question everything, stand comfortable, be bad, have fun, and, vote your conscience.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.